Protesters were outside the United Nations headquarters in Switzerland, calling out perceived Chinese human rights abuses. Inside, China's representative to the UN in Geneva, talking up his country's human rights record.
主席先生，经过不懈的奋斗，中国人权事业取得了历史性的成就。
China is facing a process called the Universal Periodic Review, something all 193 UN member states go through. It's a chance for the other UN members to share their thoughts on a country's human rights record. China faced intense scrutiny from many Western democracies.
We condemn the ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity in Xinjiang and transnational repression to silence individuals abroad. I thank you.
But at the same time, many countries in the global south, by contrast, praise China. Human rights groups have warned that the UN review process is open to manipulation.
It is certainly a process that is very easily manipulated by governments that don't want to have a serious review. That's very clear. I mean, there were a number of governments this morning that I think were clearly reading Chinese government talking points or are simply notorious human rights violators themselves.
China may pick which of the comments it chooses to acknowledge before its next review in 4 years' time.
What's going to happen over the next 4.5 years is that China will take many of the recommendations made by states, most likely those that have a favorable tone towards China, and they will accept them.
But the fact remains that China is facing more scrutiny than at its last review in 2018. The persecution of Uyghur Muslims and other minority communities, and Hong Kong's sweeping national security law in the years since, had put the spotlight on Beijing's human rights record. For these protesters, it's a chance to focus the world's attention.
But that is their chance to voice and stand up against what is essentially a Chinese effort to whitewash or sort of gaslight the international community with regard to its own human rights record.
But with many countries choosing to remain silent on China's record, or even praising Beijing, the calls are unlikely to change any minds in the Communist Party leadership. Eason and Herel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.